Hey everyone, it's Anthony Cosenza with the Orange and Black Insider Bengals podcast. Enjoy this set of interviews recently done by our co-host John Sheeran. These interviews include hearing from the likes of Bengals head coach Zac Taylor, quarterback Andy Dalton, running back Travion Williams, wide receiver Josh Malone, offensive lineman Billy Price, and linebacker Jermaine Pratt. These interviews also feature other members of Cincinnati Bengals blogs and podcasts. This is the type of content we love to bring you and will continue to do so during the preseason, regular season, and off-season. Thanks for listening.
You're going to be calling plays for the first time in a while in your first preseason game in a couple days here. You excited to get back on the headset?
I am. And we do a lot of it at practice where we don't script it.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's going to help us think and talk as a staff and, talk through situations that occur and how do we need to handle that better in the game. Did we do a great job? So we constantly evaluate what our communication has been in practice. And we're always working. Like today already in our walkthrough, we've called 50 plays that were unscripted. And so, it's the first game where you get to react to another team, but we put a lot of work into this over the last 6 months.
So how has Andy kind of adjusted to that? Because with McVay and Goff, they had the thing in the headset and going up to – have you guys done that and instituted that? And is Andy really taking it upon himself to really get ahead of that as well?
Sometimes Andy would prefer that you just, hey, we're in a walkthrough, just talk to me face to face. But we're pretty adamant that he wears the helmet and that we always talk the way that we're going to talk in the game. And so we've been doing that for the last 6 months. He's been forced to wear a helmet. All the quarterbacks have, and we do the communication, the communication through the headset. So that's something we've gotten, 5,000 reps of at this point. So the game will be no different.
You're 2 weeks into training camp now. You have the off season before the players came in to watch a lot of film and get up to date on the roster. Who's been a big surprise for you, if anyone, as you've gone through and actually getting them on the field?
Well, I think, Sam Hubbard is so consistent with his approach day to day. He's one of the hardest workers on the team. He's a great character kid, but he's also really talented. He gets the most out of his talent, and he's a guy that's really, really impressed me as I've been around him. Happy to see Carl Lawson rebound off an ACL that quick. Really, I could talk about the whole defensive line. I've been really impressed with our defensive line and the work that they put in. And I talk about Nick Eason and Joel Chapman a lot. They do an outstanding job of staying on those guys and getting the most out of them. So that's been a really solid group so far that I'm impressed with.
So have you gone out of your way to make sure that you're also focused on the defense, or have you let Coach Anarumo kind of do his own thing there? Have you just trying to be everywhere, I guess?
So the reason I hired Lou Anarumo was because I trusted him. I know that he would do a great job because I've seen it in person before in Miami. And that hasn't changed one bit. But at the same time, it's important that I share things that we struggle with offensively, that he's done, so he's aware of that, and some things that I think would help the defense. And he does the same thing for our offense. Hey, y'all did this, and it really gave us problems. And so it's something you need to be aware of that other teams may struggle with. So that communication between he and I, because we've worked together for 4 years ago, has really been strong. And same thing goes with Darren Simmons. Darren's a great guy, he's a great communicator, he's been here a long time, been a great special teams coordinator for many years, and so the communication between all of us has been really good.
So maybe talk about just the undrafted receivers who've gotten opportunities to play more snaps. What have you been most impressed about with Damian Willis or Stanley Morgan, or just the guys who've got more reps because of injuries?
They've probably gotten more reps than any undrafted guys in the league, just because of the injuries we've had, and they've been forced to step up. Really impressed. Probably the best group of undrafted receivers I've ever been around in my years in the NFL. And so those guys have really, really stepped up. They make mistakes, but the mistakes aren't lazy mistakes where they're not paying attention. It's just because maybe they got overloaded in that moment or they crossed it up with something. And we can live with that in training camp. If a guy has shown great effort in the meetings, you can tell that he's got great character and he wants to be really good. Just occasionally his head explodes a little bit and he makes an error. That's we're going to live with that. Don't make the same mistake twice. Been really impressed with Ventel Bryant, Damian Willis, and Stanley Morgan Jr. Those three guys have been really impressive.
The NFL is moving to a more 11 personnel. It's something that you're maybe going to increase a little bit here in Cincinnati. They were the second most in 11 personnel last year already. When are we going to start seeing official depth charts for defenses be in the nickel? Do you think that's something that's ever going to happen?
I don't know that they're too worried about what the depth chart looks like. They know that at the first snap of the game that nickel's going to walk out on the field and the backer's coming off. So I don't think that they stress too much about that.
Yeah.
Emily might make that decision for us at some point, but right now, I don't think two guys are too much worried about that.
Along those lines, I talked to Andy a little bit about this earlier. It sounds like there's going to be a bit more of a trend this year where teams are going to just keep nickel out there against 12 personnel. Is that something you're excited about? Is that going to make things maybe easier for you as the defenses try to adapt?
Yeah, it's all about how they look at your tight ends that you're putting on the field. So it's not just only you can make a blanket statement that it's 12 personnel. It's, do they call it 12F, 12 fast? Or are they calling Tyler Eifert a receiver? Are they calling Trey Burton a receiver? So you just have to look at how that team may view you and what tight end grouping you put on the field. And you got to have a plan for, are they going to play base or are they going to play nickel?
So when you brought your own version of the McVay offense over to here, did you have a conversation with Andy about what are you comfortable with with going in, and was it kind of a marriage of both philosophies kind of in one, or is it more of you and just we're going to do this, we're going to do it my way?
The coaching staff made the decision on what our offense needs to look like. We installed that offense, and then as we taught it to the players, there's an open dialogue constantly with Andy, especially at this portion of training camp. When the offense is in, we've gotten a ton of reps. Andy, what are we missing that you really feel comfortable with that fits what we do? Is there anything that you're uncomfortable with that we need more reps of? We want to continue to look at it and need more reps of. And he's a very clear communicator. He's very honest, and he's not over the top demanding to where, there's any friction there. It's an easy dialogue between all of us, Alex Van Pelt, Brian Callahan, myself, and Andy. And so that's been an easy transition for all of us.
Have you seen any improvements in him, or not improvements, but adjustments to having an offensive coach for the first time in his career?
I think that he's had some really good offensive coordinators. I've known a lot of the guys that have coached him, and so I know that he's well coached, and he's been in some really successful systems in the past. So I don't know that I see too much of a difference in the way that he's going to play. I think that he's been allowed to be aggressive in the past and do things that he sees, and that would just be more of the same in that regard.
What are your goals for just week one of the preseason, just with these guys out there?
Yeah, just to see guys play with the technique that they've been playing with in practice. You get under the lights, you're on the road, you're on TV, there's another opponent out there. We want guys to attack and play with discipline and play with the techniques that they've been doing in training camp and not abort those things just because you're in a different environment. And I think when we come out and our guys have played with confidence, then that's all we can ask for.
In the first preseason game, you're installing a new offense. Is that going to be any different for you in terms of, a lot of times there's this perception that you keep things a little bit vanilla in the preseason, you keep some bullets in your pocket. That's not a good word choice. You keep some stuff hidden, right? You keep some secrets for the regular season. Is that any different for you, bringing a new offense in with a different group of people, or are you going to have the same approach?
I think, make sure this is on the record, we're going to show everything we got in the first game. So everything they see, they just need to make sure they prepare for it.
I'll blast that out on
all three phases of the ball. So what you see on tape is what you're going to see week one against Seattle.
Right.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Hey there, this is Anthony Cosenza with the Orange and Black Insider Bengals podcast. Thanks for listening to our show. You are currently hearing from some of the major Bengals figureheads, including head coach Zac Taylor, quarterback Andy Dalton, running back Travion Williams, wide receiver Josh Malone, offensive lineman Billy Price, and linebacker Jermaine Pratt. These interviews were conducted after a recent training camp practice by OBI co-host John Sheeran. We hope you enjoy the interviews and continue listening to our show.
So how's camp been so far, first 2 weeks?
It's been going well. I'm getting better each and every day. I've been trying to improve it each and every day with my discipline, my assignment, just learning the playbook, and then being comfortable out there.
You played safety when you started in college. How's that transition? And you came off a year off when you moved to linebacker. How was that? You got a lot bigger, obviously.
I was still big, when I played safety. I was 230, so
Okay.
It wasn't like a big transition, you know what I mean? It was the same thing, but you just down in the box, so you had to see guard pull and see trap or zone, whatever, depending on what the running back, level of the running back and stuff. It's just blockers come on you fast and be able to get off them, shed them more. Because as a DB, you really didn't have to shed wide receivers because they really don't want to block you too much. But I think offensive line, they come on you fast, so they do their job, try to block you.
You were pretty good as a blitzer at NC State. Do you like blitzing more, or you like drive back into coverage?
I mean, it's whatever they use me at. You know what I mean? Third down, if they want to blitz, then I want to be one that they send on blitz and they're going. But if they want to cover, want to like 2 minute or like end of the game, I want to be like matched up on the tight end or running back.
What's been the biggest challenge for you coming in as a rookie to NFL? Is it speed? Is it something else?
I mean, I don't think it's like a challenge. It's like just getting comfortable, like with the routine and stuff. Everything's like up tempo, so you can say speed of the game. Everything's like fast. I just saying like this being comfortable out there and just be ready for the opportunity.
They have you working with the audio helmet with the second team. Is that part of the comfort level? Does that mean you are feeling more comfortable because they have you out there with them?
Yeah, because at first, when I first did it, I was stuttering. Like I was I ain't hear that like somebody like speaking to you in the huddle. So it is definitely like making you feel confident because when you in the huddle, you the man in the huddle. Like you got to take control of the huddle. You got to get the defense to call. You got to set the front. You got to tell the back end what to do and stuff. This most definitely builds confidence.
So with that second team, you've been working a lot with Jordan Evans. What is your guys' chemistry like working together?
I think it's good. You know what I mean? He's a vet. Like he had some game experience. So basically he's telling me stuff that I don't know. Like if I mess up on the call, he'll correct me out there. So I think it's huge. Just keep on working with any of them because I work with mostly all the linebackers because I get put in like when I go like sometimes I don't be the back. I'll be like the Sam or the Will. So it is different.
What can you tell us about like some of your defensive coaches since they're all brand new to the team also?
I mean, they hard coaches, you know what I mean? They want to put their imprint on the culture that what they want to have. They want a physical defense and accountable. You got to be accountable on the defense and then be a great teammate to the ones that have it. Because everybody is a reflection of Coach Lou, Coach Tim, and that DB. Everybody is a reflection of the Bengals.
Well, your linebackers coach is in a scooter, so how's that been?
Oh, the scooter? Oh yeah, he's still the same Tim, still aggressive. If I don't do something, he made me do it over and over and over. So he really like hard on me. Like he just pushed me every day.
What would you say is a leader on the defense? Is there somebody that stands out to you that you've been looking up to since you've been here?
I mean, it's several different leaders. You know what I mean? All of them talk to me. Like if I mess up or something, you got Bates, you got Shine, you got Carlos Dunlap, you got Preston, Nick. You got like several guys that Dre. You know, you got several guys on the defense like give feedback to the rookies. They tell the rookies what they did wrong and then like congratulations when they do something great. So I think there's a lot of leaders on the defense.
Do you see yourself as a leader on this defense in the future?
Yes, that's my goal. Like to build respect for everybody, my peers around me, my teammates. So that's my goal.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey there, this is Anthony Cosenza with the Orange and Black Insider Bengals podcast. Thanks for listening to our show. You are currently hearing from some of the major Bengals figureheads, including head coach Zac Taylor, quarterback Andy Dalton, running back Travion Williams, wide receiver Josh Malone, offensive lineman Billy Price, and linebacker Jermaine Pratt. These interviews were conducted after a recent training camp practice by OBI co-host John Sheeran. We hope you enjoy the interviews and continue listening to our show.
New coach, new offense?
It's been well, you know. Of course, it's an adjustment, but everything's going fine. Chemistry's well with the team, and we're just looking forward to playing.
Have you been in on any of the pre-snap jet motion kind of stuff yet, or has that been mostly Cody Core or some of the other guys?
Oh, we're all involved. It's not just a few guys. Everybody's a weapon when we're out there on the field. So,
How's your chemistry been with Andy now that you're running with the ones with AJ out?
it's been good. OTAs helped a lot with just getting a lot of reps with Andy. But I felt like our chemistry's been building very well and should be good.
You've been taking kick returns back as well. How's that been?
It's been fine. I used to do it way back when, but now I'm looking forward to getting back there again. Kind of missed it.
What are the biggest changes for you coming from your previous 2 years in the new offense for wide receivers? Are you making more reads post-snap? Is it pre-snap motion? What are some of the big differences?
You talking about in the offense as a general?
Yeah, as a wide receiver, your individual responsibilities.
It's more just like the whole entire offense is different. It's nothing like we was running the past 2 years. You know, everything's tighter. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of things you gotta use your eyes. You gotta be smart. A lot of adjustments on the fly. it just makes you think a little bit, but not too much.
When you say it's tighter, you mean the formation's tighter, like more condensed?
Yeah, more condensed formations, because most of the time, past 2 years, have been out wide.
Yeah.
So Zach used to be a wide receivers coach back in the day. Has he given you like any personal advice when he's coaching you, or has it been your new wide receivers coach who's been like the most help throughout your third year now?
I'd say Zach helped a lot. He always, if he sees something, he always walks up and tells me. He always tells me what he wants to see me improve on. He always gives me just little things to keep working on.
Right.
So.
And so this is your first year with an offensive head coach. Is he what's that been like to have your head coach like more involved in the offense, like on a play-to-play basis?
It's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great. Just with him being involved with the offense and always having the input, like it really matters to him. So that's one thing you don't want to mess up on his side of the ball.
Right.
So yeah.
Is there any did you watch any of the Rams offense with Zac Taylor coming in? Or?
We took a look at the Rams offense. There's some similarities, but we got our own differences. We got our own philosophy with our offense. It's just, the guys with the offense, they did what they did, and I believe we can do the same thing here.
What's the biggest improvement for you coming in year 3? You've always had speed, came into the league as a young guy. In your third year now, what do you feel like you're doing best?
I try to improve my route running every year as I keep maturing as a player. More focus is how I've been handling taking care of myself off the field, and just how I've been handling meetings and just professionalism, studying notes, taking better notes and stuff like that. That's probably been my biggest thing going into year 3 in the first 2 years.
So with the starters, are you more specifically just like the X split end, or you are also rotating with the flanker? I don't think you've been really with the slot. Are you guys like rotating both sides of the formation, or are you just staying in like one spot for the most part?
We rotate both sides. We all know every position in the offense, so wherever they put us, we just go in and just play. He teaches the whole entire offense to where we can learn every position, so we can really run any position.
Cool.
We were talking to Andy a little bit about when the play itself breaks down, you have to go off script a little bit, and how there's been an emphasis on that. Is that something that's an adjustment for you? It sounds like it was something that was made an emphasis last year.
Well, shoot, in the professional ball, the play breaks down a lot, so there's a lot of things just happening on the fly. So probably after the first year, that was like the adjustment, but after year 2, it's kind of just the norm for play breakdown. You just got to create just basically a second life on the play.
Once again, you've been listening to one in a series of recent Bengals interviews courtesy of co-host John Sheeran. He recently spoke with members of the Cincinnati Bengals, including head coach Zac Taylor, quarterback Andy Dalton, running back Travion Williams, wide receiver Josh Malone, offensive lineman Billy Price, and linebacker Jermaine Pratt. John was joined by other members of both CincyJungle.com as well as other Bengals podcasts, but this is a pretty exclusive set of interviews that we bring you on our podcast. We thank the Cincinnati Bengals for the opportunity to speak with all of these members of the team, and we thank you for listening to this set of interviews. We'll continue to bring you more of this type of material throughout the rest of the preseason, regular season, and into the off season. Thanks for listening.